You have called in what you've prayed for. If you truly want what you've prayed for, it's here. The power of prayer. Yeah. My teeth are on fire today. Why, Joseph? I'll tell you why. I had 2 big blocks of marzipan. One was rum, the other one was something else. Can't remember what. And it was so beautiful, so sweet, so sweet, so sweet. But it tingled my teeth. Tingled them. So they're on fire at the moment. Plus I had a load of, I got these jelly beans. Not jelly beans, jelly babies. Really good ones, you know. Oh, well, my teeth are on fire right now. So, spiritually speaking, they're on fire to say something. Now in the Hebrew alphabet, there's a letter to do with teeth. Right. There's a letter to do with water. It looks like water. I'm going to show you these things. It's all to do with words. Our words are powerful. You may not think your words are powerful. When I come out of the womb, the first thing I did was cry. And I got attention straight away. A little baby got all the attention. You see, I wasn't even talking. She was crying. I got all the attention that I wanted. Apparently I was a good baby. I was a really good baby. So they say. Who knows? It's just what my mother said. Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you that little story about when my mother had us. And I was at the end of the row, apparently, in a cot. These transparent cots or something. And everybody had to pass me. Because I was at the front. There was people coming in. Anyway, I'd just been bored and my mother says, at the end, when they said it's time to go now, people would be going by Joseph and they'd just stop and say, "Wow, I've never seen a baby with so much hair. So much hair." She said it was passing neck down here. I said, "What, when I came out?" She said, yeah. She said, "I had a lot of heartburn." She said, "Blame you, Joseph." I said, "Well, how was that like?" She says, "Well, look." She says, "You know, when you get hair, heartburn, woman gets heartburn." I says, "All right." She said, "Well, it's an indication that your baby's going to have hair." I says, "No, mother, no." She says, "Well, that's what I was told by my mother." And it's true, isn't it? I says, "Well, I've got lots of hair, that's true, yeah." Aye, so all my babies will have lots of hair. No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with babies born baldy. Some look quite cute, don't they? With baldy heads. everything's good. Yeah, she said she used to have fun with it. She used to say she used to create like a tidal wave. She says big wave. She says big wave. She says you look good. I used to be able to do your hair up and all sorts of fashions. I says, so I was your little toy, was I? She says, oh yes. I was a little baby. You know, little girls love the little babies. The baby toys. So I was just like a baby toy really. But she loved the baby toy. And well, I mean, like Pinocchio, he became a real boy eventually, didn't he? Aye. Well, I became a real boy. Mm-hmm. From not knowing who I was, to suddenly realising, what's that letter on there? What's that nail hole there? What's this happened here? What's that happened there? Why have I got a hole there? Why have I got a hole there? What happened? What happened in the past? I asked my mother about that hole there. She wouldn't answer me. I said, it's been there all my life, hasn't it? Even from babies. She didn't want to remind me of what had happened. So what I'm going to talk about today, I'll get onto this serious part now. Would you like to know? What's the Cave of David? And its meaning? Any ideas? What's the significance of it? Well, let me just no, I don't want to do that. I'd like to thank the Bible Hub, first of all, because I use a lot of the scriptures. They're very, very helpful. Quick references that help me a great deal. I've got the hardware. I mean, I can look at the real Bibles, but for the sake of being able to do it faster, and I'm not very fast because I chillax, but it'll be a little bit faster. Wind it up, Joseph. Wind it up, Joseph. Now listen. This key here, I have to. I'm going to explain something to you all about the Cave of David. It's quite fascinating. Remember I talked about words? Well, if you go right back into the Hebrew and even further back into the Phoenician, we'll see some things. We'll see how creation came into existence through words, through patterns, through gematria, or gematria. It's all interwoven. Numbers, symbols, and letters. Oops. I can feel something coming up in a minute. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. I'm getting any confirmation yet for that one. Oh, I did get one, didn't I? Oh, okay. It's a good excuse to say sorry for burping, it feels a bit tight. Right, said Fred. You know the phrase, you've heard this phrase, the key of David. You heard that? Not the Star of David, the key of David. But the key of David, this is a key. It has the form of geometry. Yeah? It's also 3 letters. That is literally 3 letters. 3 letters. In placement in the Phoenician gives us a number. A number code that gives us the key to get into the house of David. The phrase key of David appears explicitly in the scriptures with that very famous book of Isaiah, right? In the book of Isaiah, this is for the Jews, Isaiah 22, verse 22, we have the number 2222 with the key of David. Take note, 2222. And then tied it in with the Christian era, Revelation 3 verse 7, yeah? They're both interlocking. They are interlocking. A dovetail joint. In Isaiah it pertains to authority entrusted to Eliakim in relation to the royal house of David. Eliakim really was a man who was entrusted. You could say entrusted with the key to get a presence in front of a king. David, could anyone just get an audience with him? No. You had to be invited, and you had to be the key entrusted here. The royal house of David. In Revelation, you remember Eliakim, he was entrusted. In Revelation, right, it is used to highlight the exalted ownership of this authority of the Mashiach. Yeah? Each mention reinforce the notion of the rightful dominion, both earthly and eternal, in connection with David's what? It has to be in connection with David's line, because he bears the name, the Phoenician 3 letters, Da-va-da, or Da-wa-da, Da-wa-da, yeah. Isaiah 22 verse 22, do you want to know what it says? I'll show you. And I will place on his shoulder, the key, so the responsibility is on his shoulders. Putting it on his shoulders